I'm thrilled to introduce Kim Clyden as a guest host for the very first episode of My Mackay Journey. Kim is a talented author, presenter, and content producer. She is also a daughter, wife, mother, and grandmother. She has a passion for storytelling that connects and inspires. With her extensive experience and genuine curiosity about the journeys of others, she is the perfect person to kick off our podcast series. In this episode, Kim will help us explore the unique challenges and triumphs faced by migrants as they settle into Mackay, highlighting their incredible stories of resilience, adaptation, and community.
I come from Bandung, West Java. The one name itself, it's fine. But whenever I do some paperwork, that's when it starts to get a bit tricky.
First name, last name, middle name.
Yes, that's right.
Have you found that one of the challenges?
So the challenges, being a migrant itself, it's hard. Not to mention, not to be able to speak the language fluently, it's hard. And then being a Muslim woman with a hijab, it makes everything harder.
How do you find it harder because of the way you dress culturally?
At first, how people look at you, they're giving you the look. Probably just just those feelings. But I notice that some people giving you the look. Probably other people don't give so much care. But some people, they're giving you the look. Like you sort of the refugee. There's nothing wrong with the refugee, of course. But probably with the stereotype, being a Muslim, being a woman with the hijab, they just underestimate you for who you are.
Maybe don't see you as the person you think you are.
Might be.
So culturally, things can be difficult. Why did you move to an area like Mackay in regional Queensland?
Because of my husband's job. So back in 2012, he was very lucky because he get this offer, a job opportunity from the same company but a different branch, which is Australia, a position for a call technician here in Mackay. So we came directly from Indonesia to Mackay, not to other city. We come on which is called a 457 working visa, which is a very popular working visa at that time. So he came on August 2012, while my daughter and I, we first arrived in Mackay on January 2013. So the job, in the hoping of having a better economic opportunity, that's what brought us here to Mackay.
So how have you found the region as far as somewhere to live?
It was very quiet in Mackay, which now we were thinking it was nice. It was nice to bring up our children here, not too crowded, not too many something phobia, not too stress with the traffic jam. We don't have any air pollution. So it was nice. And the people are nice. My husband have a very conducive work environment. I also work in a very conducive work environment.
What do you do for a job?
I'm a teacher aide in one of a primary school here in Mackay. The people, the environment, the neighborhood, it's lovely.
Are there any things that aren't so lovely apart from what we've already discussed? You know, have there been other challenges where there's negatives?
Probably because there aren't so many Muslim here in Mackay. They're not exposed to Muslim. They're not aware of the difference between Muslim. They're not aware this person having different dress or different clothes because of their Muslim. Then they're just thinking, oh, probably she's just wearing different dress. They're not aware of there's another religion, which is Islam. But other than that, we don't find any significant problem. That's what makes us stay for more than 10 years here in Mackay.
How do you find others that you share cultural or religious beliefs? How do you seek each other out to celebrate your culture?
So here in Mackay, we have a very wonderful Islamic community. We have one mosque. We have an imam, which brought us together. So whenever we have a really big celebration, we all come together to our only one mosque. So we have a monthly gathering. Certain event, we usually take all the benefit from our society. So whenever there's a, take for example, we have a Muslim doctor. He will be happy to do the CPR training. Even though it's not a registered training, it is like a knowledge, especially for the young, for the youth. So this is what you should do because we have someone in our community who are qualified just to give you that knowledge, which is really nice.
What sort of supports have you found you needed or were very useful to you?
I am very fortunate because I have a really good support system. So I have been written an anthology with my friends. So in that anthology, I take part in writing a small part about education here in Australia based on my experience, how I registered my daughter while we were still on our working visa and while we're having after we're having our permanent residency. I have a really good support system obviously from our Indonesian community and then from our Islamic community. And then as a mom, I have been connected to the neighborhood hub. I have been taking my daughter since she was very little, since the neighborhood hub, they were called Shakespeare Street Family Center since she was very little. And then after I had my son, I also brought him to the playgroup, starting from a free playgroup and then a prep ready program. While their kids having that kind of support, they also provide support for the moms. So I met lots of moms from other country. I also built my confidence speaking in English because there's no chance you can't speak any other language. You need to speak in English, which is really good. So those kind of support also led me to a program which is called C program here in CKU. They helped me to find a suitable course that led me to gain my certificate for in-school-based education support. That's how I gained my employment as a teacher aide.
What do you enjoy most about that integration into Australian education?
I like how inclusive the Australian curriculum, if I can say, how they respect the needs of every children, how they also pay details about how the students, how the learning, how the management of the class, how the staff, which is I feel it's totally different with what I have experienced from back home.
What did you experience back home?
So back home, you come to the school, you teach, you work, you do this paperwork, you go to the classroom. We don't do any modified assessment. We just give the same level of education for all the students, for everyone. Yes. But here we apply a different, same curriculum, but a different learning the material for the students, which I think really nice, yeah.
One thing I think is leaving my country, which means leaving my family and my friends. How did you experience that and what did your family think of you moving to Australia?
It was so sad, definitely. Especially like my family and I, both of our family are in Indonesia. And then during Ramadan, during Eid al-Fitri or Eid al-Adha, there were the 3 moments that we miss our family so much. But video call, every day. And then we always visit family once a year. That's a must. We always visit family once a year. And every Ramadan, at least my husband, he will come to visit like family. It's only my husband, but that's fine. At least one of us come and visit our family. Distance obviously makes a difference. Like with my children, they love their grandparents, but probably with less touching, less hug, less real hug. It makes difference. But at least with everyday communication, video call, and like we can spend 6 weeks holiday back home. So hopefully it made up our time for our family.
At least your children, I suppose, are familiar with their family
Yes,
and their
that's right.
grandparents.
Yes.
So yay for technology.
Yes.
Many people have an expectation when they move to another country. How has that been met, exceeded, or maybe not?
Probably it's beyond our expectation. Because at first we were thinking, all right, we're just going to stay until our working visa, 4 years of our working visa. We are not thinking about gaining our permanent residency. But then again, let's stay for a bit because we would like my daughter at that time to experience how good school here in Australia. And then after a few years, we were thinking she cannot go back to Indonesia after she's spent so many years schooling here in Australia. After that, we're thinking about my husband's career. He's been spending so much years in this company, in this position, with his stable career. And then I just starting to build my career here. So yeah, looks like we're staying longer here in Mackay.
So you obviously have a big circle of friends. Have you found neighbours to be welcoming as well as those in your work environment? Because you said integration into that was quite good because you find that they're inclusive. Do you find that in your neighbourhood as well?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm very close with my neighbour, especially because we have same age children, boys, 7-year-old boys. And then, because as I mentioned to you before, like sometimes, like we visit Indonesia for quite some times. Obviously, I'm going to say to my neighbors, can you please look after my house? And then obviously she's going to have a look at my house every day just to make sure everything was safe and sound in my house. Yes. So yes, I do. We do have a very good neighbors on my left, on my right house. Yep. That's
Fantastic.
Right. Yes.
That's always comforting, isn't it?
Yes.
To feel like you belong. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, you mentioned earlier during this interview that when you first arrived, people would look at you in your hijab and give you the look. Have you found that's changed since you've been here over a longer period?
Yes, because in this coming year, there are more Muslim ladies with hijab. Yes, I found more than previously than we first came here back in 2013. Yes, I found more ladies, more Muslim ladies with hijab.
How do you think we could educate people about the hijab?
So the hijab itself, it just simply to make a woman, a Muslim woman, just to easily being recognized as a Muslim woman. That's the first thing why woman should wear hijab. It's not something you need to force. It's not something that a husband must tell their wife. No, it's not. Because my daughter, she's just starting to wear hijab. And why is that? Because I told her, it just makes you easily to be identified as a Muslim woman.
Something to be proud of.
Yes, that's right. They just need to get to know us better. If my friends know me, I share stories, I share love. So there's nothing miserable thing because I'm wearing hijab. So there's nothing to be scared of. There's simply nothing behind this hijab. There's no pressure at all. That's what I'm trying to say.
Misunderstanding religious intent and cultural beliefs is probably the greatest divide when it comes to people and the look. because they don't understand, and they've been misinformed. They may even be prejudiced against a certain religion. How do you find peace with that and not get upset about it?
I don't really think about it. No. Especially at school. I like when the preppies, first time I see the preppies, they were so curious and they were so cute. They need to make sure that I have hair inside of this hijab. They were so cute. Yes, at the preppies. So just me running around the school, chasing the kids at school, my presence at school, that should be enough for now, just to saying that we're a Muslim lady, we're happy, and then we can contribute to something positive.
Well, it's not very different to the nuns' headwear that I used to go to a boarding school where I had nuns running the school, and it's a very similar look. So, that most people don't find nuns offensive, do they? I think we need to start, less comparing, more acceptance might be handy there.
That's correct.
How do you see your future from here? Your children are growing, you've been here now for 12 years. What's your hope for the future?
Since I have a bachelor degree in chemistry from Universitas Pajajaran, and I have a master degree in environmental engineering from Institut Teknologi Bandung. So I used to teach chemistry. I really, really wanted to come back to teach chemistry again. So I'm thinking about going back to school. That's what I'm thinking. I really wanted to go back to school so I can teach chemistry again. That's what I really want.
How do you feel overall about the opportunity you've been given here in Australia?
I think the opportunity is really good. I think it's fair if the Australian doesn't recognize the qualification that I have back home. So they need to do some assessment to my degree before they say, all right, you are okay to do this and that. But the problem is just because I'm only a permanent resident here in Australia, I need to prepare more in terms of the financial if I really wanted to go back to school. But the opportunity itself, I believe it's going to be wide open because it doesn't matter how old you are. So it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. I think the opportunity is wide open here in Australia.
I'd like to thank you so much for joining me in conversation and sharing so much about your culture, your experience and being here in Mackay. It's been fabulous.
Thank you for having me, Kim.